We got one in already.
I got them both in.
Okay.
They're a thick wall pipe with a cap, and they just slide in.
Okay.
And then the rubber is going to sit on top of that and last forever.
Okay, that's what he's talking about right there. So
What inside, maybe you can see better.
here's the other one. It's already installed. There's the cap. Did you have to grind that out?
Yeah, I had to grind it to make it fit because there was a lip around the edge,
Yeah.
but it dropped in and then it's flush, and the rubbers will last forever then.
Okay.
This is what the pipe looks like.
Yeah.
Thick wall pipe. Has to be cut 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut them. Cut
Okay.
a few of them.
This is the cap for the where you welded
That's
in.
the cap.
Okay.
I grind this off. That sits on the pipe
Yeah.
and weld it. And there you are.
You weld that on. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
going to make a bunch of them.
Okay.
If these guys want spring rubbers, they put them in and it's good forever.
Okay. Dad had me come out earlier this morning. He's already got both the springs in. Said take the springs out, put that bit in, and then
This is a special hook I made for the spring. It has to be fairly narrow, and it's got to have a knob on the end, because you catch the spring in here like this,
yeah.
and when you pry up, then you can put it in.
Okay.
But you also should have one of these welded in right above the leg,
Okay.
so that it doesn't slip down on you.
Okay.
We're ready here, so we're gonna have a coffee. We'll put one in, and then you take a picture.
Okay. Okay.
Gonna go to the other side.
Dad and I just got this over the lip. It was a bit of a struggle. So there's this lip here. Had to lift it up and move it over at the same time. So it was a two-man job. Dad used to do this by himself back in the day, but it was a struggle for two guys to do this. But that's one side done. So we just pulled this spring out of the yellow. It's on the driver's side, and as you can see, this one is about 1 inch taller. That's a new one, so we got to put in a new spring in for the customer, and there's about a 1 inch gap here. So that's how worn out that spring is. So Dad's just making some new caps for the where he installs the spacers, and he's just making a spacer. That's why it's a little noisier here. And so this one is being taken out. This one's being put in on the yellow.
Okay, this thick wall pipe, 2 1/8 OD, 1.5 inches long.
Okay. 2 1/8 thick wall pipe OD, 1.5 inch long.
This cap goes on top.
Yeah.
I'll weld it, and then we're going to stop here to make another.
Okay.
I'm just cooling it off so I can handle it. Now this, I'll have to use the burr a little bit,
Yeah.
because it's got an edge.
Okay.
Bring the air hose here. and
Okay.
the burr. If the rubber rides on here, it's not going to be long before it wears the rubber.
Okay.
So by making these and putting them in, the rubber is sitting on that flat pad,
Okay.
bulletproof.
Okay.
You'll never have to change the rubber again. That are been in since 1974 and are still like new.
Okay.
But if you don't make that pad, you'll ruin them on the bottom.
Okay. So Dad's now cutting a piece of angle iron to go in here for like we did on the blue wide gauge, and I'll show you right away. So he's gonna weld in a piece like this just so we have a brace, because otherwise it's going to be impossible for us to put that other spring with the spring dampener in. So he's just grinding off a little spot there where he can weld.
You don't have that little point there
Yeah.
for a cheater. It's dead center of that axle.
Okay.
The bar slips down.
Okay.
You're going to fuck with it all day.
Yeah. So he's just welding that little cheater bar into place now. And again, like he said, it's if you don't do this, you can be screwing around trying to get that spring back into place. I'm sure other guys have gotten it done, but Dad doesn't like making the work hard if he doesn't have to. Yeah.
Well, just watch how easy it'll go now. Okay, now you hold that into place here.
Okay.
I'm going to get here and get a hold of it.
Okay. Okay.
Now I can pull it up.
Yeah, so Dad's got it in place here. It's now a one-man job again.
Yeah.
So that's on.
Better off to work a little smarter than waste a whole day trying to take
Okay.
that in and out.
So there you go.
The knob on there. But it's too far back. Has to be right there.
Okay.
I might even have to take that off because it's in the wrong spot.
Okay.
Okay. Give me some power here.
So Dad's on the passenger side now, the yellow wide gauge. And he's putting in that little bracket in there so that he can, we've got something to lift the spring out with. Okay, so we just, Dad just took out the spring here. This is the one from the driver's side. This is the one from the passenger side. And we had a 1 inch difference before, and I bet you that's 3-4 inches. So it's, here, we got it's
2 inches.
2 inches. Okay, so that's how much the difference is in the play on these springs. So if you find that feel like you're riding around on a box of rocks, it's probably because your springs are worn out. So Dad's just burring that inside bit now, just so it's got a good fit. When Dad's doing that, he says it's got to drop in.
Without a burr, you might have a hard time making that hole clean. See that?
Yeah.
Now we're good to go.
So now Dad's going to weld on this little cap right over here. So Dad's welding on that cap onto that little adapter.
That's how I like to fit, because when you're putting them in, you don't slip out on you. They're machined down just perfectly.
Okay.
Okay, you got to put that down.
Okay, so this one was a little more difficult because the spring the spring was a little longer, but we did manage to get that in place. And so yeah, we got 4 springs off, 4 spring dampeners installed, and 4 springs back on. So yeah.